we are in an incredible series of what is another episode with a real estate advisor at Engel and Völkers. Today, I get to talk with Chris. My name is Bianca Bruce. I'm a licensed partner and shop manager of our shops here in Sonoma County. And Chris is an incredible advisor at our Sonoma shop. You and I met some years ago.
That's right.
But before we get started, because I'm getting ahead of myself, tell us who you are.
Okay. Christopher Oscar, global real estate advisor with Engel and Völkers. Lived in Sonoma since 1996 and fell in love with it and started buying real estate. And that's what led me on my journey to go, I can help people to do this. I was only 24. I thought I can teach people how to go from renting to ownership. And that's kind of what started the whole thing for me. So I got licensed in 2002, never looked back.
That's amazing. Okay, so thank you for giving us a little bit of background. I always find it very fascinating to hear, especially when I talk to professionals, regardless of what their profession is, when they're taking their career seriously and they think of their career as an expression of who they are, when I find out how they got into that one thing, because you could have done a whole number of things, but real estate was what you chose, and it sounds like it chose you a bit.
It really did. It really did. I say my parents are a big influence.
Yes.
Growing up in Montclair, New Jersey, and it seems out of my friends and that I grew up with, everybody had the house that their parents had, and we all go to hang out at each other's house. But my parents had the house that we lived in, a commercial building on the plaza of their town in Montclair, a summer home up in Pennsylvania, a couple plots of land, a couple condos down the shore. And I said, why are you doing this? Why do you have this? And they said, when we retire, we want to be set up to have the income coming in from all of our rentals to bring in extra income for retirement.
Yeah. Engel and Völkers is a German brand, and it's a global brand. And what you're describing is actually a really European way, very privileged. Not everybody gets to own their own home, certainly not in America, but most certainly not in Europe. But when they do, they think about it as a mechanism, as a way of domino effects, setting up their players. Each property is a player in building a legacy. And that sounds like that's exactly how you grew up, with parents, blue-collar parents. Or hardworking.
Sales, copy machines, door-to-door, business-to-business. And at one point, they would sell these flim-flam machines to bars and restaurants up in Pennsylvania. And we'd go up there on the weekends, have our fun, go to the lake, do our thing, and then they'd go collect the quarters out of these machines. Work ethic. I saw that right away, and it just inspired me for sure.
That's amazing.
Because they weren't real estate agents, they weren't brokers. They had other jobs, but they were buying real estate.
Yeah, they saw the potential that real estate can offer. I mentioned we've known each other for some time, and I think our path actually crossed in real estate and with lenders, and now I get to work with you and see the value of education. You really like the conversation that leads to a better understanding of what is happening and how the person can be better, how they can do better, how they can expand and grow. So a little bit that comes from your childhood, but what sustains that in you?
I would say my number one goal of wanting to be there to help people, that's the underlying. That's it. Because when I'm educating, I'm teaching, I'm advising, right? And it's, in this case, one of the biggest financial decisions people are going to make in their whole life. And this is huge. And it's not taught really in regular school.
Yeah, hardly anything that's actually life impactful is taught in regular school. Yeah. I think it's because we're meant to actually learn it from each other and our community and our families, and that's for an entirely different conversation. But to the point of being part of a community and part of a brand and a company that actually really focuses on supporting our advisors and bringing education into our ecosystem, I do think that makes a difference. I notice a difference in our advisors just since we've started collaborating with each other.
That's the word right there, the collaboration.
Yeah.
Absolutely love to see all the advisors collaborating with each other. Really an educational teaching, and especially with all the changes we've been seeing in real estate. And so navigating through the new paperwork, the new forms, it's the buyer showing agreements, it's a lot. You know? And so when you have others you can rely on and say, hey, I'm working on something. Have you done this? And you have all the hands go up. I can teach you that. I can help you with that. that is such a beautiful space to work, the collaboration.
Yeah. I remember a few years ago, one of the things I love about Sonoma County is that I get to be so close to all of these different experiences that I enjoy, whether that's being at the ocean or going to a museum in San Francisco or having a nice meal at a good restaurant. It's just that the ability to just be literally 45 minutes away from any of it. But I remember going to San Francisco a while back, and they had an exhibit of Turkish rugs. And I was like, really? What would be so interesting about that? And they would literally hang in the middle of the room, the exhibit. And one of the things that they were showing us as the guests of the museum is you see this beautiful tapestry, just perfectly woven together by human hands, just perfection. But on the flip side, on the back end of this tapestry would be hundreds of knots, just a mess, really. And it just struck me as such an image of what it looks like to be in business, to be collaborating, to be making a difference. The experience you create is hopefully seamless for each other and for our clients. But behind the scenes, you work out so many knots, so many loose ends that have to be tied back together. And that's really the fun of it. I see you do that in your ecosystem with us. And I see that's a real drive for you when you're talking to me about what else is possible. Right. So I'm always curious about, does that translate into the other parts of your life, or is that just something you do in real estate?
Definitely it does. And I manage 9 properties for my family and I out here. So that just continued. And so I sit on 5 different boards for the HOA condominiums and the different in Sonoma. And so I became someone who has to be very organized. And so it's a lot of moving parts that you don't see behind the scenes, just like you said.
Yes.
But I'm standing there, the president of this organization or vice president of this, and running a meeting. And it really you have to do all your research. You have to be ready to go. You have to be prepared. And so all of it is done behind the scenes.
There's
right. No doubt. I'm big on setting the goal, setting the plan, setting the day, like to the day with the legal size yellow notepad, mark it all down, set it, and then you go off and you get it done. And that's the rewarding part too, checking off the boxes.
Checking off the boxes, seeing that you made a difference. And sometimes when you check off a box, you didn't really get to make a difference yet. Right? But you're just that much closer to that goal or that idea that you're going to see through. So I do like that about you. You have your yellow notepad. I have a composition book. We're really fancy with our tools. Like, there's very other people have like advanced apps and things, CRMs and automated flows. We're like, where's my yellow pad and my comp book?
Right? Here's my pen. I need a blue one. I need a black one.
That's right.
I need 2 colors.
And that's funny because that's just, I noticed that. It's like something about being very tactile in our craft and having the tools of our trade at our hand. To be fair, I wouldn't be able to go anywhere without my phone, right? But yes, that the tools of our trade are really important to us to achieve our goals.
And that's what I love about when I meet with clients. I say, set the goal. Set your goal to me. Tell it to me.
Yes.
And I don't care how crazy you might think it sounds. Write it out. Let's go. How many bedrooms? How many baths? Is it 2 story? Is it 1 story? Is there a yard? No yard? Condo? House? Large acreage, right? Let's get detailed. Now let's talk about what area you want to be. What part of town? What town? Sometimes we have to really rake it. And then from that point, I love it. Give me that. And then I'm going to go find it. And I think there's this investigative personality side that comes out of me that I want to do the research. I want to find it.
You find that through line. You get what they want. I think about what you do. You're mostly in Sonoma, which is not to say anything about the fact that you can do real estate literally globally. But there is a way where we are having to remind even our audience, real estate is a hyper-local experience. You want to work with somebody who understands the community and understands the nuances and is as involved as you are, even with the community that has nothing to do with real estate. Just because it adds nuance, color, and flavor to the living experience, right? And I think ultimately, when I think of EV Sonoma County, I'm thinking about who are the advisors who can create the most authentic experience for our clients that they're looking for, but don't even actually know it yet.
That's right.
Because a lot of times our clients don't know what they actually really want. They may know I need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath,
Yeah.
but how do you live?
Yes.
How do you like to spend your time? When do you take your coffee?
Yeah.
Do you wake up super early? Do you what? All of those kinds of questions of investigating the person
Yes.
and their lifestyle adds to what it is you
What's
can
that
do with
living
them.
experience that they want? I just had 2 people stop by the shop yesterday. They were down here from Canada
Okay.
celebrating a birthday.
Which is also what I love. They recognize the brand
Right away.
and
It
then they
happens
walk
all the
in.
time,
Yes.
Whether they're coming from Germany, Italy, Amsterdam, it's just incredible.
Yes.
Like the global reach is real.
It is
you know?
real.
And
So
then
they walk
come
in.
They walk in, they see it, and we're talking, and they're looking at this property. I got to sell my place in Canada eventually, and I want to move here to Sonoma. And we're talking and just having a great conversation. I said, what are you doing today? We're going to go do some shopping. I said, you need to start off by going down to Capo Izzeta, get a nice glass of the frizzante, right? Sit down, get the experience, right? And then from there,
Yes.
go out, do your shopping, what have you. And they're like, what a great idea. Wouldn't you know, the bar manager of the Capo Izzeta wine bar hits me up with a text later and says, Chris, thank you so much for sending those
That's
2 people
right.
in. Take a look at this. And they actually went online, gave a huge kudos to Capo Izzeta to say, great service, great place, great wine. And thanks to Christopher Oscar from Engel and Völkers for sending us over
That
here.
is so wild.
Is that something? I've
Yes.
saved it. I've got
That's
that now.
amazing.
It's incredible. I just love that part of it.
I love that you light up when you talk about things like that.
yeah.
And this is actually something very unique to our brand.
Right.
When you ask an Engel and Völker advisor what they do and what they love, we have advisors who sell every kind of price point. And that's just not what they lead with. They lead with the experience every time.
Every time.
And I just love that so much because it is truly the expression of what this brand really is about and allows you to then be yourself and then build your own personal brand through it. And you light up when you talk about people, whether they are your clients or a shop owner on the Sonoma Square, or the other day when I called you and you were delivering meals.
That's right. Meals on Wheels.
Meals on
relief
Wheels.
driver. We need more relief drivers out there, everybody. Great way to help out in the community because it's not putting $1 in a bucket somewhere that's going, I don't know
Right.
where. You're physically going to the door and handing them a meal, a lunch and a dinner.
That's amazing.
That's an impact right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's huge. And then when it comes to real estate too, the stories are what really get me.
Right.
Honestly, it's not just I sold this house. I
Right.
sold this house. It's what happened there. This couple, they wanted to move closer to the father who was getting older in age and needed their help. Instead of being far away, a condo opened up for sale right near where they live. So we had to get their house sold and then get them into this one. And I said, not a problem. We're going to make this all happen. And at the same time, another client was looking for a place for her son who was recently getting married and was looking around Sassoon and all kinds of places out that way. And it was like, well, do you work in Sassoon? No, works over here, Sonoma, Santa Rosa area. What are you doing going all the way out there? I've got a great place that I'm just about to put on the market. You need to come see. Wouldn't you know? Boom, falls in love with that, buys that for her son. The couple is able to go ahead. It was a contingent sale and
Right.
purchase the condo right next to the father-in-law. Magic.
Yes.
I'm over there watching the Cal Bears game the other night. Magic.
That is incredible.
I do love that part of it. The
So
stories.
the stories, what I love, I'm always imagining our audience, and I hope they're half as captivated by the stories that I get to hear from our advisors as I am, because it really is, if you're listening in and you fine tune to what it is that you're sharing, you're describing your lifestyle. You're describing a lifestyle of service. You're describing a lifestyle of dedication and commitment. You seem unapologetic about what it is you want to achieve, to the point where you're so focused. And I want to use a word that, like, you're stubborn about it, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's
Right.
non-negotiable to you.
That's right.
And I find that to be super inspiring. It was one of the reasons when I don't even know that I've shared this with you, but before I became a licensed partner, I would come to shop meetings and just pop in and talk to people and just be a guest, and I wanted to really just see what are these advisors and what are these shops like when I'm not on. And I had the same experience with the advisors that I then had later when I came in as a licensed partner and a shop manager. So the experiences didn't change. And you are one of those people where you're just unapologetic, driven, focused. You're going to make it happen. You're eager to make it move.
Yes.
And it adds to our culture, and it adds to the experience of your clients. If I were to ask your clients what they say about you.
Interesting. It's so funny you asked that. That was the question. Okay, so I moved out here from New Jersey. I told you that, right?
Yes, yeah.
Before I actually made the move, I went and did a lot of interviews. Now,
Yes.
this is back when I worked for real estate advertising.
Yeah.
So I was in advertising. And I went, one of my interviews, I did at least 7 interviews. I flew into San Diego and drove all the way up with a buddy of mine from Jersey. And second to last interview was at the Press Democrat, Santa Rosa newspaper. And it was funny. The interviewer there said to me, said that same question,
Yeah.
which is really funny because when you said that, it just
Yeah.
struck me that
Yeah.
day. And I just said, I pulled out my phone and I said, go ahead and call one of them. Like I just was that,
Yes.
like,
that bold.
and they said, okay, give me some phone numbers. And I was like, oh my God, we're doing this.
Yes.
We're doing this right now. Okay. It's just a flashback. I
And
had
that
to
is,
share that.
No,
that
that's
was
great.
funny.
And that's also that's such a Jersey thing, right?
Yes.
It's because I do think, and not that there's a Jersey thing, but there's an
Yes.
East Coast vibe
Yes.
where you challenge me. You want to challenge me? Then
Let's
no.
go.
Let's
That's right. Let's go.
Let's
Call
go.
Larry at Grove
Yeah.
Street
Yes.
Pharmacy. Call
Yes.
Tom at the pet store. Who do you want to call?
Who do you want to call? Let's go.
It
Let's
was
put
just
them all
right
on here.
on.
Yes. And you do. There is that. Yeah. All right.
Let's do
Let's do
this.
it.
That was great.
So what would they say?
Yes, I would say they say Christopher is the real deal. He talks the talk, he walks the walk. So if you have something that you want to accomplish, you want to achieve, he'll help you, guide you, educate you, and make it all happen. I want to at one point, and this is sounding like a little bit ego, but just reading every once in a while the testimonials that people write, I just go, wow, you know what? They get me. They
Right.
got where my heart was coming from. Because it's always from the heart.
Yeah.
It's never about the dollars. I remember when I first started in the industry and I was closing on like my first deal and I was calling the title
Right.
company. And I was calling them to see when can my client get the moving truck there. That's why I was calling.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, you're calling for your check? You'll get your check. I went, what? No, I know that's going to happen. That's a given. I'm calling because they got the moving truck. Are we on record yet? I want to make sure they can go into the house, open the door. Can I give them the keys?
Yes.
Where are we? They're like, oh my God.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Most of the people are calling, where's my money?
Yeah.
I said, no,
Yeah.
that's not where I come from. I
Yes.
don't come from that. Money will come. Take care of the people. That's it.
Yes. The real deal.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about it, there's a rawness and a grit to it, right? There's a little bit of let's go then, let's go.
I love it.
I like the challenge. When you and I chat about the future of EV Sonoma County, you're one of my partners in that conversation. We talk about, okay, what else is possible?
Yep.
Who would want to be part of this culture, this company, this ecosystem, and who do we want to bring in, and what do we want to see in them? And I just want to say it. The conversation is very similar to what we're having right now. Are you willing to do the work that it needs to be done in a way that you're accountable to it?
Yes.
You're going for something. And I'm reminded of one of our shop meetings when you told us, much to some people's surprise, and my own included, I have to admit,
Okay.
that you do vision boards.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Every
You're
year.
a big vision
Every year.
board guy.
Yes.
So when did this start for you? What is that about?
I would say it must have started, I'd have to go back. It's got to be at least 20 years now.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I went to a North Bay Association of Realtors put on a class.
Okay.
And it was Shasha, who's a real estate agent. I don't know if you remember Shasha.
Yeah.
And she was doing this vision board class. And I said, oh, I like vision board. I want to do this. And it was transformation for me because she did a vision board to the Feng Shui Bagua. Now, I don't know how this guy from Jersey came out to California, became this spiritual guru kind of Feng Shui, but I've had, my house is Feng Shui. And I've had Feng Shui experts come over.
Okay.
So to me, I'm like, vision board meets Feng Shui. What is this?
Okay.
And I started doing it. And every year I perfected a little more, and I would go to her class every single
Okay.
year. And in fact, just about 2 weeks ago, I completed the vision board that I'd been working on all year. And I just feel like, honestly, just from doing that and really putting everything into it, all my energy, it's boom, all of a sudden 2 escrows going right now, another one ready to write an offer on a property. I think that it's really important because you want to set that vision, but you want to feel it when you're doing
Right.
it.
So you're talking about being congruent, right?
Yes, exactly.
That alignment. And
Alignment.
we talk about alignment a lot. And this is I find that I talk about alignment most when I don't have it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Because we tend to be theoretical and be intellectual. And so what you're talking about is alignment in yourself first.
That's right.
With your thoughts, mind, body, emotion. We are spiritual beings. I share that thought with you and that
100%.
belief with you. So having that, seeking that alignment in yourself, and the vision board, would you say, is it, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but is it like a tool
Totally.
to create that alignment?
Oh, 100%. Especially getting into the feeling place of it. That's a huge piece. Because as I'm picking out what pictures, and I don't just do, here's a bunch of magazines. Although this last one, I went and used the GG magazine because all of these pictures of Sicily and all our properties that are real estate, global offices and shops out there that they have, they work great on my vision board. Big pictures of Sicily and Tuscany and Florence and Sardinia. So getting that. But I also actually go in and I go through and use pictures that I've taken, family, vacations, out on the golf course, what have you. I can keep going. And I print those out and then post them up there. So it's not just magazines. A lot of times people just use a lot of cutouts of magazines, which is great, whatever works for anybody. But for me, I personalize it.
Yeah.
I
I like using words for my vision board because I'm a big word person. But I like that you're taking pictures or printing pictures that you've taken.
Yes.
Because it was one of the things about the alignment in business, personally, professionally, in your life. I think it's really important to be able to look back a bit or evoke a memory. And I'm imagining if you're looking at a picture of you and your family on vacation, or you're at a golf course that you just really did a good job at that golf course. I have no idea what it looks like to do a good job on a golf course, but apparently it's achievable. You have a visceral reaction to that memory. You mentioned earlier, you ask your clients, what do you want? Write it out. Is that for you like a visioning exercise for them?
Yes, it is actually.
To bring together what they're thinking
It's
and wanting and
see them
feeling?
light up. When they start talking about what really means, what's important to them, okay, now we've got it. Now we're getting somewhere. And then the feeling together with the vision. So they're doing it, and then they're doing it and telling me, and I'm catching it. And I'm making notes and mental notes, written down notes, and that helps me to then go do the search. Yeah,
I really wish, there's lots of things I wish in real estate were a little bit different. But I'm really proud of our advisors, the ones we have. I really think they're great at the craft, and they're human people.
That's right.
They understand the impact that they're having, and they're coming to the conversation with a servant heart, right? Like really wanting to serve. But I really wish our audience and our customers, our clients, would know how to interview a realtor. And it's really interesting because I've actually done this exercise of asking even like ChatGPT how to interview a realtor, and it's all this intellectual stuff and do you know your things? And what every single person that I interview that is an EV advisor talks about is the incredible soft skills, the human skills that it takes. And I would love for our listeners to know you can call Chris or any one of our advisors, right? But more importantly, I want you to be empowered to know what you need and want and desire and what to ask for. And if your advisor can't help you figure that out and meet you where you're at and help you identify what your gaps are and guide you across that and get into I always talk about the arena, get into the arena with you.
I like that. Yeah.
Then find somebody else.
That's right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Because it should be a profound experience. It should be an experience that allows the person that works with you to feel like, they had my back.
That's right.
They saw things I didn't see.
Yeah.
They had my blind spots.
That's right.
And they made a way through with me.
Yeah.
And I think I love truly that we do that. That's part of our culture.
Oh, I went to see Matthew Ferry speak a lot. You know, one of the things he says is when you have advocates, supporters, followers, and believers in your corner, anything you want is possible. And so think about that. When you do be of service and be the best you can for your clients, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to tell you, their friend, you need to call Chris. You need to call Chris right now. You're looking for a part, boom.
Yeah.
I just did that with another client who helped out, got everything sold, everything beautiful right away. Sent 2 more people over.
Yeah.
You got to call Chris right now. And it's the best because you're right. Once you get into that of service and be that, they feel that it's real. And then they will send you more people to help.
Yeah. I want to go back to something you said with the yellow legal pad.
Yeah.
And then you were describing your vision board, right? And then you were describing the goals on that legal pad being very goal-minded, vision-minded. And I always tell people that I work with, your vision, your vision creates your goal. You have a vision, then you have goals that correspond with that vision, and then you have tasks, and then you take action.
Yes.
So there's a through line there. But one of the things that you also mentioned is the joy you get from reading the testimonials.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you already do this? Or if not, what does this idea sound like to you? On your yellow notepad at the end of the day, do you write down like 4, 5, 6, 7 things that come to mind that are like, that was a good job, but that was well done. And that felt good. That was aligned with that through line of what I'm going after. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just the big check mark through the
that gives
goal
you that.
achieved.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the big one. But I do have printouts of testimonials that I put up on the vision board.
There you go.
So there it is right there. And actually, I have also something that I had found online that actually has that whole goal written down. Is a dream, put a date on it, it's accomplished, that kind of thing. Yeah. And that is the most important thing because we can all have some great insight and ideas. Then once you send it out to the universe and it comes back and then you act on it. And that's a lot of, I tell a lot of clients that when they're coming in and they're looking for a property and they put out the whole goals, all of it. They say, this is what I want. I said, watch out because it's going to show up. It'll show up quick.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting. I was talking to a client this week and she was telling me about how people like to talk about the work that they need to do, right? Like the projects, the things they need to do. And she just really likes to do the work part. Like I want to talk about it, but I want to get to the work part. Yeah. And I think that's what craft is, right? You really create something, you make it happen. Yep. And so I relate to that sort of gritty, let's get it done, let's get to it. Yes, let's have a big vision. Yep. Let's be super audacious about our vision. Let's be bold with our goals, and then let's have a work ethic. And I think you and I, maybe it's because we grew up with that European blood, and I grew up in Europe, East Coast. I feel like it's right there, that grittiness, that get to the work piece. Have fun, but also after you're having fun, there's always a chore connected to it somehow.
One of the speakers I went to see, and like you said earlier on, we started talking, I love knowledge. I love learning constantly. And so it was either Matthew Fuhr I went to see or one of the speakers that was in the movie The Secret. And they said, set the vision, meditate on it, do all that. And they said, but you can't just sit in your house on the couch meditating all day because they're going to come and take your furniture away. They said, you better get up and start working that plan.
Yes.
You got to go out and do something and start knocking it little by little, chip away, get into motion.
You reminding me of the very first verb I learned to conjugate, and this is how I was introduced to the English language, was the verb to be. So I am, you are, right? Go down that. Okay. And to be, then later I heard somebody speak that being is an action verb. So anytime you take action, you are going to learn a few things. It's either going to go seamless and then you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. But more often than not, when you're being, you're going to bump into some things.
Sure.
And you're going to learn some things. And so when you're talking about sitting on the couch manifesting, you're not really being.
Right.
You got to get in there. You got to go and you got to take the risks. And that's what it is. Get into the arena, get in there and show some courage and some grit. And our clients demand that. Whether they know that they're demanding it or not, they demand that. Yeah. I want to touch on something that I think goes super untalked about, right? It's one of those things that is behind the tapestry, the back of the tapestry, all the knots. And that is what it looks like to conduct the players or the participants in a transaction. When you think about, just off the top of your head, what would you guess how many people play a role? What would you say? A couple dozen?
At least a dozen.
Yeah.
At least a dozen.
Because it's also the people then behind those scenes, right? Like I think of the big players, the realtor, the loan originator.
Yep.
But the teams that are playing just behind the scenes to make that play happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's so big. There's so many details, so much involved for you in your business and what you're building for your book of business, for what you are known for, the real deal, right?
Yep.
That's the thing. You're the real deal.
That's right.
What does it mean to you to have all these players be part of this?
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. Oh, yeah. It's you have to have a deep bench. You really do.
I like that. A
right?
deep bench.
Yeah. Off the bat, your inspectors, your loan originators, your appraisers, everybody has to be ready on call. SOAR lateral, roof inspector. And then, of course, on the other side, too, with the marketing, when it's your listing, you have your team. Like we have our team.
Yeah, we have our team.
Amazing team.
Yeah.
And that's all of it just together. People don't see that behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's all the knots.
Exactly. That's
all
a great
the knots,
way to put it.
all the untethering, all the things.
Title company.
Yes.
Everything they go through and do for us. Amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of unsung heroes out there.
It's humbling. Again, it makes everything a little bit more, it dials down the ego, I think.
Definitely.
Because it puts a bit of perspective on what it is that we actually do. And what I hope it does for our advisors and those who are thinking about joining us is, I hope, in the most loving and respectful way I could possibly say this, I hope it inspires a bit of awe in them. I actually hope it dials up the heat on them a little bit of understanding, oh, I hear a little bit more of what it actually takes. And yes, I'm supported. And yes, this is going to be cool. And yes, we got this. And also, I have to show up.
You got 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 to show up.
And we're all about sharing, too. And some people might just say that. We actually walk that walk and talk, and we do it. When someone says that they need a painter, here's my painter's phone number right here.
Oh, no, I think
whatever we need.
Yeah, the collaboration is huge.
Yes.
The sharing is huge. I also think, and I want you to speak on this for a little bit because you have substantive experience, not just as a realtor, but as an advisor at Engel and Völkers. Tell me a little bit about, and this was very new to me, right? When I first came on board, I was like, oh, I did not know this was there. They didn't use it as one of their big points of a pitch to woo me in.
Okay.
And that was the mentorship piece.
Oh, yeah.
We have actually a whole program to guide an advisor that is new to us. You don't have to go through this. If you're new to real estate, full stop, we highly recommend it. But almost anyone could actually participate in this mentorship program.
Oh, it's totally right there. And it's all done, all dialed in, ready to go. And you've got so many advisors that are willing to step in that role. Because that's really important to me, is the contribution to other people's success. I'm also part of a Sonoma Valley Business Executives group, and we're there to give out leads, kind of like a B&I. And it all comes from the heart, where you're like, you want to see the others succeed. And that's what we do. And that's part of that mentorship program. So I want to see you get that listing. I want to see you get that closing. I want to be there through the entire way. And here's the tools. And it's really, like we said before, it's work that plan. You can give all that to someone, but if they're not going to show up and do it,
work it,
there's nothing there. But if they're going to actually trust it, just recently created the open house tips. I mean, that's just from being out there doing the open house. And every time I go do something, I think, oh, yeah, a nice Bluetooth speaker or something. I think I should tell everybody that.
Yeah.
Or, oh, you know what? 3 signs, that's okay if your property is right on a busy street. But if you need to really reach everybody, you should invest in yourself. Buy 3 more signs. Have 6 signs out there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should write that down too. So creating ideas that'll work from experience and passing them on to someone else instead of hoarding it or holding on to it.
Yeah. Sharing is actually, it creates a much more even playing field, actually.
And then we have the broker in the background there for anything.
Yeah, our broker is incredible.
Exactly.
He's so good, it's intimidating. It's really great.
Pick up a call.
I know. He's incredible.
It takes a text at any time.
I know. I'm like, okay. That's amazing. There's so many more things I want to ask you, but I want to get to something that I'm genuinely curious about when I talk to people who have established their careers and have created success for themselves. Is there anything that scares you?
Ooh, you're going good questions there. Anything that scares me? That is a really tough question. I'm by nature just an optimistic, positive person. I've done so many deep dives with Law of Attraction, The Secret, read every book I could get my hands on. And it's like, what I would just say is, I know how it works. I know the whole language, the Law of Attraction. I know how it all goes. And so for me, it's like continuing to walk that. And I can almost see when somebody is like bringing in what they don't want, and I'm there to catch it. And I say, wait, we just said we want this in a property or what have you, and you just described everything you don't want. Let's come back here. So I guess the only thing that scares me is being able to have someone around me to catch me when I do it.
Got it.
Right? To say, hey, Chris, you preached that. Did you hear what you just said?
Oh, wow.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, thank you for bringing me back.
Yeah.
Because I know how fast things can manifest, whether you want them or don't want them. So it's like just focusing and being positive and staying true to that outcome. It's going to work. It's going to happen. The final permit's going to come through before closing. It's all going to be fine because you want the moving truck to show up and the close of escrow call to come through and hand those keys and a nice bottle of Frizzante from Capo Izzetta or wherever you're getting your goods from and say, welcome to your new home.
Yeah.
You know?
So interesting. So if I was to like say it back to you, what scares you is that you won't have somebody who will have your back, and not even your back, but seeing where you're deviating from that through line that is aligned with your vision and your feeling, right?
Yeah, and I do have it.
And then
though.
you do.
Thank God.
Yes, you do have it. But it's scary. The thought of not having it scares me.
The thought of not having it would be pretty scary.
Yes.
Because it's quick to go the other way.
100%.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think I just mentioned to you, I'm noticing in my own self, when I am least aligned, I tend to talk about it.
There you go.
So
That's
it's
interesting.
Right? And
yes.
So it's, but then by way of talking about manifestation or alignment in general, that you're creating more of what you don't want, right? Exactly. So now suddenly you're looking for all the things that you don't want.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that vulnerability, because you never know what could come up. But another question I have that is not nearly as scary, no pun intended, or maybe it is, I don't know. Where do you see yourself 3 to 5 years from now?
3 to 5 years from now, let's see. Definitely continuing with what I'm doing, mentoring more and more advisors. I absolutely love teaching.
Yep, right.
When I tap into what makes me just come alive, it is actually training, teaching, coaching.
Okay.
So I could see more of that for sure. Obviously, selling, representing buyers, representing sellers, all like that, traveling a lot. And what's nice about being in a career in real estate, especially with a company like Engel and Völkers, every single quarter, we have a different all-advisor meeting at another one of our shops in the most amazing places. So I went to the Salt Lake City, went to Park City, there's the LA. I'm going now to Scottsdale.
You are?
I am. I'm doing it. I just got the tickets last night.
Good.
I'm like, let's go. Let's do it. So I see myself traveling more, but also combining it with my career.
Got it.
So it's traveling to these amazing places where Engel and Völkers has their shops, getting to know, because our network is huge when it comes to the referral network. Ginormous. You've spoken about that.
Yeah.
That's huge. And I've done that where I've gotten referrals from Mendocino County, referrals out in Carson City, just everywhere. And there's some advisors in our shops that are constantly talking to the advisors in Italy, So I would say traveling more, but also real estate related travel, and also coaching and training more. And then I made a documentary film, so maybe another film is in the works one of these days.
Love it.
Yeah.
We didn't get to talk about your documentary film, but I love that you are weaving into your real estate business in general. You're weaving your whole skill set and your whole personality and your whole ability and your whole vision.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to the thought that anything is possible, because I think it's too big. I want to think small, but it's not specific enough. Yeah, I do think that we can work toward what is maximum possible for and more for where we are and where we want to be. I always marvel truly at the fact that I'm 46 years old. I live in America. I live in Sonoma County. I have 2 adult children, and it just doesn't seem possible in such a relatively short life so it truly humbles me. And when I talk to people who have accomplished so much as well, I'm like, oh, they made it possible, but they defined it first.
That's right. And I don't separate, like some people, there's a job you go to and that's it. Obviously, that you can tell that's not how I function. I am a real estate advisor, global real estate advisor, every minute.
Chris, for our guests who are listening, I really think this is important, and it does set a good professional apart from others who just are tinkering about, right? And it's great to tinker about when you're scrapbooking and, I don't know, trying your luck at a hobby, but don't work with professionals who are tinkering. I don't want a tinkering dentist.
No.
You know what I mean? I really
No,
don't.
thank
I
you.
want the best.
Yes.
But it bears to be said that when you are working with a professional, particularly in the service industry, of which we are in, you, as Chris, are at the center of your life.
Yep.
And if I get a different Chris, I mean, we all have our relaxed time. We all have I don't want to necessarily work out with my clients at the gym. You know what I mean?
I understand, yes.
But when you meet me, when you talk to me, I am at the center of my life. It is all encompassing. And I see and hear that from you. There isn't, real estate Chris and then dad Chris and then the Chris that is running a professional network. Right. It's just Chris.
That's right.
And what was it that you were known for? The real deal.
Real deal.
You've been the real deal today.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. I could talk to you truly and ideate and then also love that we just both get to work.
Same.
It's a pleasure to steal an hour with you and get to do this. And on the note of the future for 3 to 5 years from now, I can just imagine working on that together.
Agreed.
The coaching, the mentoring, the bringing more advisors into our ecosystem and helping them feel successful and by their definition, not ours.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening.